Apparently our real estate market is down, but that's news to me. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how you doing? Werenka here. I'm the state of Michigan broker for Simply Home Real Estate. We're the fastest growing real estate company in the United States. And I've got an all-star team right here in Ferndale, Michigan. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, rent, whatever you need, we've got you covered. We even do property management now. So currently in all over Michigan, but especially here in Metro Detroit, we just got dumped on with snow. It hasn't been above freezing for a few days here. We actually got a winter. A lot of years we don't. So let's talk about what's happening with the housing market, because a few weeks ago I did another video with my predictions on what the market was going to be doing, and we're pretty close to being right on point about that. So just want to do a quick video just to let you know where we're at in the market, because the stats that we're seeing aren't really super reflective of what I have found is going on. So we'll talk a little bit about both of those things, and just keep you updated on where the market is. So let's jump in. So the most recent statistics that we have are for January, and the number of closed sales in January was way down across the entire MLS. And for our intents and purposes, the MLS may as well be almost the entire state of Michigan at this point. I think there's a few counties in the UP that don't do data sharing, and there's like a little just north of like Bay City for some reason doesn't, and like Charlevoix doesn't. But other than that, we're pretty much pulling from the entire state. So in the month of January, there was just over 6,000 homes sold. It was like 6,153 across the entire state, which, I mean, still is a decent number, but you have to compare it to like the peak of the market in August. There were over 10,000 homes sold in August of this year, 10,644 to be exact. So it's seasonally, this isn't atypical. That's what we expect. Like, people don't go generally out to look at homes in the freezing cold, slushy, nasty snow, and when it gets dark at 5:30 in the evening. So, that's to be expected. But I think the extent to which our inventory dropped off is not shocking, but it's notable. It really, compared to even last January, we have fewer closings this year than we did last year, which I wasn't expecting, because we've got more inventory, and the market itself has been, as far as I'm concerned, been a lot busier than the last several Januaries. In fact, I just finished the busiest January I've ever had in 22 years. So go figure. But the numbers are the numbers. So across the board, the number of closed sales has fallen quite considerably. And then as far as average sale price, we're seeing that has declined a bit as well, and that's completely ordinary. That's what we expect. That's what we see every year. Every year we see about an 8 to 10% difference between the peak average sale price, which again usually happens in July or August, and the low end of the average sale price, which is always either in January or February. So February stats haven't come out yet, so it's possible that we'll go lower. But between August and January, the average sale price dropped 12%. It's down to $245,061. So, and that's across the entire MLS. Obviously, that includes Birmingham. That also includes, parts of Detroit where the average sale price is probably $50,000. So, you average it out, that's where we're at. So, that's, to me, if I'm looking to buy a house, that's good news, because people have been waiting for prices to drop forever. And, we've actually exceeded our 8 to 10% that we usually drop. We're down 12%. So, if you're thinking about buying, if you got that pre-approval, it might be a beneficial time to kind of start looking right now. I think you've got we're going to be another month or two before the competition really heats up. But, if you need to buy a house right now, you can save yourself, 10 to 12% on the price by purchasing now instead of waiting until, the warmer months. And a bit of good news too, supply is actually quite a bit higher than it was this time last year. Yeah, across the entire MLS in Michigan anyway. The inventory is up 15% from where we were in January of 2024. So, to me, that's the best sign. That's the best indicator out of anything that we talk about that we're going to have a pretty good 2025. The past, I don't know how many videos I've made about lack of inventory over the last few years, because it's been the biggest issue that we've dealt with. So, and the good news is, it's, we always see the curve, and as far as like the number of homes on the market, again, always bottoms out in January or February. But that's something that we track. I personally track that weekly, and it seems like between last week and this week, the inventory has started to stabilize. There's a couple of cities that I track where week over week there were more listings than there were the week before. Most cities were steady. I think maybe Royal Oak had a few less than they did the week before. But in general, the market is starting to kind of pull up in terms of homes on the market, which is an awesome sign, because we were really scraping the bottom of the barrel a year ago, and we're entering, starting to enter the busy part of the year with a lot more inventory than we had, in the previous like 3 or 4 years. So are we in like a over inventoried market? Absolutely not. We still have plenty of room to absorb more homes on the market. I think right now, or as of Tuesday, there were 51 homes on the market in the city of Ferndale. If 6 months from now and we're in the middle of summer, if we have 102 homes on the market, that is more. That's we can easily absorb that number, I guess is what I'm trying to spit out. So we're definitely not in a situation where we have too much inventory, and inventory could literally double and we'd still be able to absorb it no problem. But that's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on, because we don't want it to go too far the other way. We don't want to get into like July and August and have 300 houses on the market in Ferndale. Well, if you're buying a home, you probably do, because that's going to flip it to a buyer's market and start driving prices down. But I think I don't want inventory to be too extreme either way. I like a nice healthy market that's good for both buyers and sellers, and that's where we're headed towards. We've been in a really good market for sellers for a few years, not as much in 2024, although it was a great year for sellers, but it started to become more of a balanced market. I think that's what we're headed towards. We're going to see more of the same in 2025. I'll keep you posted on that. That's probably the number one indicator that I keep track of to determine the health of the market. And yeah, it's trending better, so that gives me a lot of relief. And it hasn't been fun for anyone, especially buyers that have been trying to buy homes, going up against just a ton of competition the past few years. It wasn't as bad in 2024. It was certainly a much less stressful process for the buyers that I work with. But 2025, I think, is going to be even better. And that's not to say that, I shouldn't put my house on the market because I'm going to lose money. You absolutely won't. Like, it's still, our average days on market are still under 30 days, especially in, the more desirable suburbs and parts of town. You're still going to get really close to asking price, if not slightly above asking price, if you're selling your home right now in this market. So don't for a second think that it's not a strong seller's market either, because it really is. It's working out for everybody. The good news is, once you sell your home, you're actually going to be able to find something to buy. Whereas, a couple of years ago, that was the number one reason that I was getting from people that I was talking to for not putting their home on the market. It was because they knew they could get top dollar for their home and sell it in 2 days, but what are you going to buy once you sell it? Well, now you actually have options. So definitely, I'll take a healthier market all day long. I don't think prices are going to go down, but even if they dip a little bit year over year, I still think it's a better option. It's just a better market for everyone involved. So we don't like it to be too extreme one way or the other, and I think we're heading towards a pretty healthy market. One thing I am certainly keeping my eye on, though, is the number of like new homes that are entering the foreclosure process. We've seen a little bit of a jump in there, but not a super significant one. Nothing like, we're not even remotely approaching what we saw in 2007, 2008. It's nothing like that, but we're getting a few more here and there. I think that could be an indicator that the labor market is about to enter some rough times. It's usually kind of how it works. That's like a leading indicator when people are starting to have problems making their mortgage payments. That usually indicates that there's trouble ahead in the overall market. But that being said, I don't think it's going to be, it's nothing like we saw in 07, 08. I mean, there was different reasons that the market imploded back then that we've corrected, and we're not having a repeat of that at all, not even close. So, I would expect 2025 to be a pretty decent year. Again, it's going to be good for sellers. You're going to get close to asking price, if not slightly above asking price when you sell your home. And for home buyers, you have plenty of options out there. I think we're going to see an increase in inventory even over 2024, which we need. We were still a little bit under inventoried last year, and I think we're starting. Like I said, we're getting back to where we would want to be. Interest rates are not going to be our friend for probably the duration of 2025. I would really be shocked if the Fed comes in and just reduces. They're keeping a very close eye on the inflation rate, which seems like it's ticking back up. That would lead me to believe that they're probably not going to be lowering rates because that's an inflationary act. So we're bouncing around between 6.5% and 7%. Right now we're closer to 7%. We're about 6.8 on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. And obviously that's a generalization because that depends on a whole bunch of different factors. That's a very individual type thing, what rate you're going to get. But that's kind of where we're at. I don't think we're going to get above 7. I don't think we're going to get below 6.5, but we'll see what happens. And whatever happens, you're going to know as soon as I know because I'll make a video about it. But that's where we're at right now. Like personally, I've had the busiest January that I've ever had in 21 years in the business. And February so far is picking right up where January left off. So, these numbers were kind of surprising to me because that's not what I'm seeing personally. But I'm guessing that a lot of agents aren't out there grinding 80 hours a week like I'm, like your nutty YouTube host here. So, but that's just what I do, and that's what I've always done, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. So, as always, guys, if you have any questions whatsoever about the market, buying, selling, renting, buying investment properties, whatever you guys need, you can reach out anytime. Call or text 586-491-5622. You can always email me, Werenka@simplyhome.com. If you're looking to potentially get your real estate license, this is a fantastic, phenomenal company to work for as well. I know that's not why most people watch this channel, but if you're thinking about it, we are in 22 states now, I believe. We are entering the market in Mexico and Canada this year as well. So, if you need a place to hang your license, give me a call. Happy to tell you about the company. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. And until then, if you need anything at all, just reach out. Thanks so much, and we'll talk soon.